and on the question of same-sex partnership, in particular countries. And then you have the images that are produced by gay and lesbian organizations for public spaces, a variety of public spaces. That is something that interests you. And this is the campaign Let Us Be Seen from Poland from 2003, and dozens of other campaigns follow, and we can have a completely new and completely different seminar only about the strategies of same-sex promotion campaign in Poland, which is a different country, which is a different subject, but I would like to focus on different campaigns from different countries. This is, for example, a campaign from Italy. So this is kind of Polish equivalent of Let Us Be Seen, and this was a campaign that was organized by the main organization in Italy, which is called Gay, and it's called Tolerance, Local Tradition. And the social campaign of photography for lesbian and gay rights was coordinated by Gay and in the region of northern Italy. And the campaign was promoted by a local government in Perdone and Udine, and local government promoted and financed the campaign, even though there is no same-sex partnership in Italy. But of course they are getting money from the European Union for a variety of anti-discrimination programs, like in every country in Europe. That is why they finance this kind of campaign. And the strategy which they use in this image, they refer to the local cuisine, and the local specialities, cuisine specialties, and local tradition of restaurants and visiting Italy, combining this kind of local tradition promotion, local cheese and ham, and handing out in good and posh Italian restaurant in Florence, in relation to promoting at the same time same-sex, the rights of same-sex couples as an anti-homophobic campaign. And this was campaign for the legal recognition of same-sex partnership in Italy, which they haven't gained yet, and quite often, like in Poland, like in Italy, this campaign has been organized by LGBTQ organizations at the moment where gay and lesbian partnerships are debated in the parliament or on the legislative level. Of course, there are a variety of strategies. This is a Czech campaign that was organized the year before, actually, a successful same-sex partnership law was introduced in the Czech Republic. And what is important in this campaign, that like in the Polish campaign, Let Us Be Seen, same-sex couples participated in the campaign, and these are old same-sex couples, which in this moment is more progressive than the Italian campaign, because the Italian campaign is very much similar to advertising and sort of using the image of very kind of gender normative and commercialized identity of gays and lesbians. And here we have older senior citizens from the Czech Republic that are photographed having a tea or leisure time, like in the Italian campaign. And the text that accompanies is they have told each other everything in life except one thing, and I do. And together they have so much in common, but together they can own nothing. So this is a direct relation to same-sex marriages, partnership, and to ownership. All these legal privileges for couple privileges, the same-sex that marriage brings. And the organization is called Gay and Lesbianska Liga in Czech Republic, and it was in 2005, exactly before the same-sex couples were legalized. This is another image from Ireland this time, from 2010. We Are Family, organized by an organization Marriage Equality, which in this case, they did have same-sex partnership, but didn't have same-sex marriage. And that is why the campaign, emphasizing visually and textually through all these propaganda messages below, show the importance of introducing same-sex partnership in Ireland. So This was a national poster that was displayed on the streets and in the public institutions for the visibility of same-sex families living in Ireland. And the poster depicts real couples or couples with their families, showing that these families exist in Ireland and calling on members of the public to help to secure equal rights for them. And Ireland has had civil partnerships since 2011, but does not allow same-sex marriage. Hence, Marriage Equality is an organization calling for the extension of same-sex partnership into same-sex marriage. This is my favorite, probably, of all the visual campaigns that I've encountered in Europe, studying them obsessively. This one was organized by very early in 2002, so even before Let Us Be Seen in Poland, by a lesbian organization, Rijeka, from the city Rijeka in Croatia, and two real women, real couple that are activists in the organization Lori, participated in this campaign, posing like this, cheek to cheek, in a very, again, soft and emotional way, and the text reads "Campaign for the promotion of homosexual person." And love is love. Ljubav. And what is fascinating with this Lori campaign is that they, on purpose, hang the posters low, and there is a lot of free space, as you see here. So this poster, it functioned in a public space as a blackboard where people wrote their opinions, pro or against, some offensive, some supporting again, for same-sex relationships. And then at the very end of the campaign, they organized a special exhibition in a gallery again that shows all this expression or all the views that were expressed on the posters, and the posters covered with this friendly or violent graffiti. The unusual character of this campaign is that it is only two women who participate in it, a real couple, but quite often, as you see, you have the women, two women and two men that are shown of the images. So maybe let me stop here with these campaigns, as this is the dominant mode. The dominant mode in countries where being open is relatively safe for the people who decide to participate in this kind of visual campaigns in the public sphere, organized by gay and lesbian organization in collaboration with the activists, in collaboration with some designers, in collaboration with some artists, like in Polish case with Karolina Bryguła. And what we can say about these kind of campaigns, all of them, including especially, this one is very optimistic and utopian, this one is very utopian as well. Even the Polish campaign, Let Us Be Seen, was designed as an utopian campaign because it was supposed to show two happy, holding hands, same-sex couples standing on the streets, even though we knew at the time that it is rather impossible to be safe and happy holding hands as a same-sex couple on the streets in Poland. And that is why in the happiness and the utopian future of the campaign, we found very inspirational this text by Munoz about cruising utopia, the queering utopia, concerning the political potential of performative gesture and aesthetic works for queer futurity. And Munoz in this book focuses on the transgressive potential of individual edgy artists and how individual edgy artists propose or project in their work some kind of queer futurity, different, better queer futurity. And we can argue that this kind of campaigns, even though they look very traditional and very soft, they can be also interpreted in the framework of this kind of queer utopia and queer futurity, and understood in the framework of human rights and queer activism where they do a similar work of opening via visual aesthetic means a window towards a future of queer equality and presence, and creating this kind of utopia in the public spaces. Because they try to make visually a better world, legally, but also without homophobia. And also they are involved in the process, very performative process of world making, sometimes by real activists that participate in these campaigns. And you can go to any European countries and you can find similar campaigns that are very based on the image of same-sex partnership or of same-sex coupledom, of same-sex union. And of course, there is an enormous criticism that is directed against this kind of campaigns.
But can I just add?
Yes.
Munoz is going back to Ernst Bloch, as I've signaled before, and perhaps it's the essay has been published here, where we try to go back to Ernst Bloch. We were trying to develop Bloch's ideas from the spirit of utopia. As you know, his work propounds powerful theories about making history in futurity. And in a way, Ernst Bloch's not yet, noch nicht, recalled and developed by José Esteban Munoz, is becoming ever more pertinent. Europe is not a utopia. From structural homophobia and police brutality towards queers in Russia and Belarus and right-wing heterosexism supremacy in Poland and Hungary to illegal gay bashing in Britain and France. That's why we badly need, I think, this is a historical necessity of a utopia.
A little bit about this criticism directed against, on the one hand, directed against this kind of campaigns, but also criticism directed against the whole idea of same-sex legislation, of same-sex partnership in marriage as a dominant queer agenda right now on the political and legal level. And the opponents of this kind of campaign are, of course, on the one hand, are the organizations or the counter-public or the vandals who destroyed them on the streets because they are against legal or whatever cultural recognition of queer equality. But on the other hand, on the intellectual level, the main opponents of this kind of campaign are queer academics and are queer theoreticians. And it is obvious, because for them they are too simple. They are too simple, too banal. They are based on the idea of the couple, which is not so trendy anymore, because now, at some point when the criticism was raised, everyone was supposed to be involved in a polyamorous relationship, not in a relationship with one person. So, in general, Lisa Dagan presented a very persuasive and very important criticism of this kind of politics. She posited that some gays, or many gay and lesbian organizations, activist organizations, she wrote about it from the American perspective, but it pertained to the Europeans as well, that they don't, this kind of politics that is perfectly reflected in these images, they do not contest the dominant heteronormative rules, but sustain them, working within and not against the contemporary economic and political systems of power. And this kind of politics, pro-same-sex partnership registration, and this kind of images, they are criticized as being homonormative, but also not critical enough towards heteronormative rules. And this is very important for our discussion because this is all happening in the public space, because these images are always displayed as advertisement on the streets. Gay organizations, according to Lisa Dagan, are too close to social and neoliberal conservatives endorsing family-oriented structures, such as the binary gender systems, and the couples, they are rather normative from the sort of gender point of view on these posters. domestic partnership, marriage and adoption. Moreover, the homonormative gay and lesbian identity and politics tend to exclude and marginalize the BTQ constituencies of LGBTQ. So the last, when it comes to the visual campaigns, this is not true. Because there are many visual campaigns that are organized in Europe for the rights of transgender individuals as well. Almost in every country you can find some visual campaigns for transgender rights. But that's true that the transgender rights are not at the center of queer agenda in many European countries. It's more it is same-sex partnership or same-sex marriage registration. This is still at the very center of the queer agenda, politically speaking, and that is why we have the image of coupledom that is still dominating. And how can we argue and think about this criticism? On the one hand, I am pro these campaigns, and I think that they are needed as one of the means of distributing the progressive and pro-demographic message in the society. And because in these campaigns there are always real people that are involved, who are in most cases activists, not academics, but activists who are involved in a real struggle on the streets or on the within the legal framework. We do have to remember it and to some extent honor these people who are involved in some of these countries quite bravely in these campaigns. This is also quite discomforting to judge these campaigns and activists, like I mentioned, real struggling people, from only one national context, which is the national context of the American queer theory, and the American queer theory at the American universities. Because in this text,